Tonight, you're going to solve a murder. You get to see all the clues, meet all the suspects, and I'll even go you one better. You get to see the murder happen. So don't go away. We're up next.
Damn, you're getting slow.
Service side in, 1114.
Come on! Come on, let's play! Let's go!
You get him. Point side out. Game, set, advance to Rogan and Radaway.
Let's go swimming.
Okay.
Come on, Rob. It'll be fun. That's a guarantee.
Yeah. I'm right behind you. I swear to God.
Our murderee, Alex Rogan, a.k.a. The Rock. He was volleyball's answer to Michael Jordan. Of course, I guess with 2% body fat, you can live with a stupid nickname. You got your rookie handbook? Huh? You got your badge? Got your gun? I hate to tear you away from breakfast, but come on, we got a murder to solve.
Are there two F's in suffocation?
You know, I always thought that volleyball players lived in their cars and mooched off their friends who worked for a living.
Are you kidding me? Those were the old days. You know, before ESPN. The Rod cleared over 200 grand last year in prize money and another $500,000 in endorsements.
$700,000. You know, I was a pretty good knock hockey player. Maybe I should form a league. Maybe not. What else your technoid instincts tell you?
Well, Alex Rogan was whacked in the head with some kind of blunt object. I'm guessing a shovel. Preliminary cause of death, though, is suffocation. Can you imagine that? Being buried alive?
That's fine, yeah.
We know who he was drinking with?
So far, there's a couple possibilities. The bottle still had a gift card attached from a Diana somebody. Rogan's house was crammed with stuff from her. Tickets to the Hollywood Bowl, fruit baskets, yada yada.
What's the other possibility?
Stacy Somebody. She left a note taped to his door. Something along the lines of, I don't need this from you, you piece of dirt.
So who we got besides the somebody sisters? Who found the body and thank you? What are in these bags?
Beachcomber discovered the body. He walks the beach every morning with a metal detector. Your partner's talking to him now.
Yeah. Every morning I'm out here with the sun. Now, so far I'd only found a few dollars in change, a round little key, New York subway token, when my stick started shimmering like a $2 whore. Well, I reached down into the sand, I pulled up St. Christopher's medal, real gold, all the way through, except it's still attached to some kid's neck. But don't get me wrong, I'm sorry the boy is dead. But come on, it was fun. It was really funny.
Just kidding. It's a game until someone gets hurt. Okay, let's go over the physical evidence. Got a handful of loose change, funny round key, and a New York City subway token. From what I'm hearing, the Rog and Andy Radaway got along only slightly better than Jay and Arsenio. And that's before the Rog broke Radaway's wrist. So, Andy, your partner broke your wrist. No friends?
What?
No names. I remember my first cast. Broke my arms on the monkey bars. Wound up with more signatures than Mann's Chinese. What's the prognosis?
6 weeks cast, another 8 weeks rehab.
Uh-huh. Then, of course, you got a month in Betty Ford to kick the pills.
You find that funny? This could be the end of my career. Does he find that funny?
So you think the Rog roughed you up on purpose?
Of course not. Why would you say that? Why would he say that?
Well, it's been a long time since you won these. You know, a lot of people are giving Rogan the credit for turning volleyball into a moneymaker. A lot of you guys are making those big endorsement deals.
What guys? The Rog did, but I didn't sign any. And I worked my butt off getting promoters to take us seriously.
Is that why you hated the Rog? He was the brash newcomer and you were the aging veteran. You blinked twice and he was past you. That's gotta hurt.
Hey, detective, I didn't blame him for breaking my wrist. Injuries are part of the game. Hey, come on. I was popping pain pills last night. Wasn't killing my teammate.
You been to New York recently? Taking a ride on the subway?
No.
Okay. It's my office number. Give me a call if you think of anything, huh?
Yo, Bobby! Oh, wait up. Hey, Rook. Got confirmation on the murder weapon. Found blood and skin tissue on the shovel in Roggen's garage. It's a match with Roggen.
What about the Somebody sisters?
Oh, yeah, Diana. Her name was on a wine bottle. Diana Cornish. She's a rep for Corelli Sports Gear, and Stacy's a Stacy Tamber. She tends a bar in Santa Monica called Breakers.
Rog was an arrogant little bastard. But if you could shut his mouth long enough to concentrate on that body, you look like you work out.
Just a little mock hockey. So what about that note that you left on his front door last night?
We'd been having sex on the beach.
That's illegal.
Do you want to arrest me, or do you want to hear about the note?
I want to know about the note. And then I'll arrest you.
I tried getting him in the ocean with me, but he was spent. I gave him 10-15 minutes to recharge, and when I came back, he was gone.
What time was that?
Around midnight. I assumed he went back to the house, but he wasn't there either, so I left the note.
Something else?
When I first got to the house, I felt someone watching me. It was dark, so I couldn't see him clearly, but he was wearing a hat. A floppy hat, and he was carrying a golf club.
Gilligan with a 9-iron. Got it. Okay, Miss Townboy. When was the last time you were in New York City?
About 5 years ago. I dated one of the Yankees. You know, it's perfectly all right if you want to arrest me. I like handcuffs.
Mrs. Cornish, when did you hear about the Rog's death?
It was on the radio this morning on my way back from Santa Barbara. I had work up there.
What's your connection to the Rog besides concert tickets and wine?
Oh, please. He's being romance detective, big time. I mean, that's just a drop in the bucket. You know, for the last 2.5 months, we were, well, Actually, I was trying to get the dirtbag to endorse our line. You know, we were going to build our entire campaign around Roggin and Radway. Team Corrali.
All this for a couple of volleyball players?
What, are you kidding? You put a personality like Alex in our sunglasses and tank tops? We could have been the next Nike.
Well, I guess his death changed all that.
Well, actually, no. As it happens, the no-good bastard decided to sign with another company the morning he was killed.
Am I wrong, or do I sense some personal animosity here?
No. Oh, God, no. It's just the business. These things happen. You just go out and you find yourself another star.
Like Andy Radaway.
Well, after the Rog, there was just no interest.
It's a bad break for both of you, huh? You ever go to New York to look for stars?
Sure. I mean, not me, but our East Coast people do. Excuse me for a sec.
Okay. What do we got so far?
Hello?
We got the Rad, who watched as the Rog stole his dreams of endorsements and rankings in a National Volleyball League. Plus, you've got the Rog-inflicted broken wrist as a possible career ender, and that gives him plenty of motive. And then there's Stacy. She's got no motive right now, but let's not cross her off the list. And then there's the missus right here. She wooed him for 2.5 months, but victim decided not to go with her endorsement deal. Does that make her a killer? What about the guy with the floppy hat?
I'm dying to see.
Jeepers. This may be the clue we're looking for. Jimmy Olsen. Is your husband a golfer?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he is. He's a professional golfer. He's also an amateur slob. I mean, the house is loaded with teas and the stupid little tokens.
Tokens.
New York subway tokens. He uses them to mark his ball. He thinks they give him good luck.
Is he at home?
No, he's at the West Side Country Club. He's the golf pro there.
Well, I think we found our Gilligan. Little buddy.
Bobby Jones used subway tokens as ball markers. He was a big hero of mine. So when I made the tour in '83, I borrowed the tradition. Here, keep your hands in front of the club head, and don't forget to keep your head down.
All right, hands in front of the club head. Keep my head in front of my hands.
Keep your hands in front of the club head.
Right.
Keep your head down.
Keep my head down. All right, I got it.
And follow through.
Watch yourself there.
All the way through the swing. That makes you rotate spot with your arm. See? Do that.
Got shoulders around there.
What'd you say you played to?
I'm a 12. 15. That New York City subway token that we found by the Rog's buried body, it gave us reason to think that maybe you'd been out at his beach house at the time of death.
Okay. Just stop.
Problem, Mr. Cornish?
You're damn right there's a problem. Your partner's stance. Look how far apart your feet are. And where the hell do you think you're aiming? Square off those shoulders. And yes, I was at the Rog's beach house last night.
What were you doing there after midnight, playing through?
You spoke to my wife. Did she tell you she worked for over 2 months trying to get that arrogant little viper to sign with her company?
Yeah, and when he didn't sign, she just shrugged it off as business.
Did she tell you the reason he didn't sign is because she refused to sleep with him?
I don't believe she mentioned that.
Diana was in Santa Barbara for the night, so I thought I'd have a little talk with the Rog. I went there to demand he apologize to my wife. I have this thing about honor. After all, I'm a golfer.
You went there with murderous intent.
Maybe. But I couldn't find him. No one answered at the door, and no one was on the beach, so I went around to the garage where I heard some noise, but it was just one of his little groupies hanging up a shovel.
Did you hear that? One of his groupies hanging up a shovel.
Bring the cups.
Hang up the murder weapon?
Excuse me?
The man you saw with the golf club who was watching you in the garage, he watched you hang up the shovel that killed Alex Roggin.
You think I killed the Rog?
Did it bother you that the Rog had other ladies on his dance card beside you?
I couldn't care less.
So you were just having sex?
If it was just having sex, Detective, maybe you're not doing it right.
I'm sure it was a very fulfilling relationship.
I didn't kill Alex Rogan, and he wasn't the one-dimensional gorilla you think he was.
I'm hearing differently.
From whom? Andy Radaway? If Rog hadn't made Andy his partner, he would have disappeared a long time ago. But all he does is shoot off his mouth.
So the feud between them, then, it's real.
Not on Rog's part. When Rog broke Andy's hand, he went down to the hospital, signed his cast, he even paid the bill. Rog was like a kid. He'd tick everybody off and have no idea why. I think Andy did it.
Diana Cornish's story checks out. She was at the Santa Barbara Hyatt the night of the murder. Guess who signed the room service bill? Andy Radaway.
You didn't give me a chance to guess.
Guess who signed the room service bill?
Andy Radaway.
How did you know? Night manager says they were total pains in the butt. Bed was too hard, the air balloon warm. They changed rooms 3 times before 10 o'clock.
It's not a very good way to keep an affair quiet. You know, my ex-wife's sister once rented this pickup truck, and remind me later.
Yeah. 12:30 a.m., the manager gets a call from the room next to theirs about a headboard slamming into the wall from next door and staccato-like moaning and groaning. And guess who answers the next door in a teddy and a smile?
Andy. No, Diana.
Diana, who promises they'll try and keep it down,
Yeah,
so to speak. Yeah, until 7 a.m. the next morning when Andy called up screaming, I want some orange juice and I can't find the key to the minibar.
Yeah, I know the feeling. You seen mine?
Check your pockets.
Oh, it never happened to you? Come on, the momentum's building.
I mean, couldn't you have called? I was just getting dressed.
Oh, this won't take long. We were just wondering about Santa Barbara. What exactly did you do up there?
The usual. I took a client to dinner, we talked a little business, and then I went to bed.
With anybody I know?
No, not with anybody you know. How dare you?
Hey.
Hey? Hey.
Okay, fine. So, we're having an affair.
You lied to me about last night.
No, I said I took some painkillers and I went to sleep. Well, you didn't ask me if I was in Santa Barbara when I did it. You hear him ask?
Isn't it a little risky? I mean, what if Mr. Cornish decides to come home for lunch?
Number 1, he's playing in a tournament, and number 2, a lightning bolt to his head wouldn't get him off the golf course. He cares about birdies and eagles. In fact, his caddies get more attention than I do.
Still, on the night of the murder, he went to Alex Rogan to demand an apology for making sex a contingency before he'd sign a deal with your company.
No, he wanted an apology because I did sleep with Alex, and the slime still didn't sign the deal.
He knew that you had sex with the Rog?
And if I know my husband, that apology was for himself. I mean, Walter didn't care about sex half as much as he cared about honor. I mean, after all, he's a...
I know. He is a golfer. Okay, kid. Let's do it by the numbers. All right. 1. When the Rog turned his back on Diana Cornish, it cost Andy Radaway a lot of money. All in all, it did major damage to both of their careers, but are they guilty of anything more than having an affair? Nobody saw Stacy Tambor swimming in the ocean. But somebody definitely saw her with the murder weapon. Now, what about Mr. Cornish? He said he went there seeking an apology from the Rog, but did he go there actually for revenge for the Rog roggering his wife? As to the clues, we've accounted for the subway token, but I still can't figure out that funny round key. Is that a real clue, or is it just something we found in the sand? Minibar. You too? Good. Well, let's get everybody back to the beach.
Do you really have to do this now?
2 nights ago, Alex Rogan was buried alive, right where you're standing. Until the Rog came along, you were the king of beach volleyball.
Is he saying I killed him?
Well, you certainly had reason to want Roggen dead. He'd been stringing you along for months. He even slept with you until he signed that deal for endorsements with the competition, a deal which would have made you a rich man. You say that your interest in the Rog was purely sexual, but after your little roll in the sand, you left him an angry note when you thought that he had deserted you.
I wasn't through with him yet.
Maybe. Maybe you needed to create an alibi. You needed one after being spotted with the murder weapon, the shovel that killed Alec.
That shovel was lying in the sand when I came back from my swim.
Maybe again. But all Cornish saw was you hanging the murder weapon up in the garage as he lurked in the shadows, brandishing his 9-iron.
I was going there because it's where I thought I'd find my wife. And it was a sand wedge.
Do you see? I mean, do you see what I mean?
I see. But did he kill the Rog? He might have. But Andy beat him to it.
Me? I was in Santa Barbara with her.
You're sleeping with him?
Well, at least he doesn't come to bed with his cleats on.
Oh, I don't think Andy comes to bed at all. When you walk in on two people who are in the throes of passion, as you presumably were, you expect to find some sign of that passion. Instead, I found a bed I could bounce a quarter off of, and a guy standing in the closet with a pair of pants on underneath his robe. You faked the affair to set up an alibi for killing Alex Roggen. After changing rooms 3 different times so you would establish your alibi, you drove back to the beach. You watched Stacy swim in the ocean, and then you whacked Alec Roggen with the shovel and you buried him alive. Meanwhile, you were banging the headboard against the wall of the adjoining room, so when the manager came, you could act like your passion had gotten a little out of control.
Come on. How could I do all that shoveling with a broken wrist?
Oh, you played through injuries before. But this time when you finished, the pain really hit. Pills didn't work this time because you'd refractured the bone. That's why you have on a different cast. The original one was signed by the Rog. And you couldn't get OJ out of the minibar the next morning because you had dropped this key on the beach.
If you're too busy to visit, I'll understand.
A conspiracy. All it's missing is the grassy knoll. Hope you took a lesson there, kid. If you ever get married, don't take up golf. Come on, I found my old knock hockey set. I'll show you a few moves. Excuse me, playing through?